Blowing it up here at No Masks Sask. We hit 3,000 members. 1 month, my friends. I have to say I've been working my ass off on it. I haven't stopped. I wake up to it. I go to bed with it. And what people don't seem to understand about this group is that, well, it's just not like another group out there. This is an action group. And we're getting projects underway. I've been making my videos about Agenda 2030 since January and taking us through the entire journey of CV and how it's absolutely changing our culture. It was January 30th that I realized we had, well, CV was the segue to global governance. And it is now being executed through the World Health Organization, through our public health officers. The landscape has been changed. And it was difficult over the summer months to understand those changes. But now that we have hit September and the children have now gone back to school, people are beginning to understand the nonsensical rules that are meant to be nonsensical because they're meant to keep you destabilized. Everything that doesn't make sense right now, if you actually relate it back to either sustainability, the common good, you're going to find a cohesion with that. For example, the other day it was a little story on the No Masks feed, and it was about a child going to school and having to bring their garbage home. Now, do you understand what that exercise is about? I do. The exercise is about that child becoming extremely conscious of the garbage that they're creating. And because they have to take it home, they have to cart it around. So they're always conscious of waste. It's in their face. When mom creates too much waste, that child is going to be there to reinforce. And if the parent, it doesn't change their ways, then that child will, well, grow to resent them for that. It's psychological, so much of this. And the mask is absolutely psychological. It's about creating the common good, because individualism cannot exist in that model. They need to take away their identity, hence their expression. They need to instill this new normal, which is socially distant and fearful. A mom that I know, she has had to go back and forth to school to pick up her sick children who are being made sick from the mask, sitting there all day in it. I had a woman contact me the other day, and she went in for her MRI treatment, and they told her she had to wear a mask, but she's claustrophobic. I can't believe the response. It was, we can give you a sedative. I'm not kidding you. So we can give you a medication so you can tolerate the mask. And it ended with, well, once you keep trying it, it should work. We'll train you to be able to handle the mask. It's despicable. I spoke with the woman with the dialysis treatment that was denied because of the mask. All of these stories coming forward. I've blown up a few things this week, and it was not intentional. It was actually making sure that No Masks Sask was not compromised by evil. I was attending a protest here, and you have to understand, I am No Masks Sask, and then we have all these members that contribute articles, but I do all the work. In fact, I've been doing my videos since January and doing all the work myself. I tried to get involved on a local level here in April, and it was like hitting walls. I actually got very frustrated. Actually, in the second week, I blocked one of the guys because he was stalker material. And it's playing out even now. I backed off from any protests, and I actually tried to organize some other events. And those were direct action campaigns about the mask downtown. The first one we went to do, I had 4 girls. And, well, we were followed, and we never got it off the ground. There was a mistake, and that's how I spotted that we were being followed. And we ended up having lunch and having somebody on us for 3 hours. Just 2 weeks ago, I went back downtown to do some filming of the mask action, just to, keep up. And again, that same guy was there. He didn't even change this time. He was in his uniform. There's interference here and everywhere. And the protests are actually a target. When I started to get death threats, it became a concern. And as I was going down to these protests, all of a sudden flat earth started to show up. We finally got some numbers. And then there he came, interjected, making sure he had his display. Because of the lack of organization down there, and again, nobody taking control, it was allowed to fester. And I know several people that had words with him and asked him to consider the cause that we were working for now. He doesn't care because he's there to bust it. And I called him out on it to his face on Saturday. It wasn't my best look at all, and I never want to do that again. But I actually pulled his display with the help of a retired nurse. She was really angry too, because this guy is selfish and he only cares about what he's doing, and he's coming and hijacking this protest. In any case, it seems that the rest of them down there, they all think he's okay. And even though that the protest has dwindled from 100 to 25, anyway, I don't agree. So I made sure I had a public announcement on Monday that told everybody that we won't be back. And the reason I did that is because I don't want our members going back and thinking I'm going to be there, that I endorse it at all. I don't. I believe it is set up so that the media will see these protesters as, well, of course, what the media has been spinning as conspiracy theorists. I've been fighting those articles myself. And I'm working way too hard to let that happen. And I believe in protecting the people that are putting their ass on the line to come out and show their face. We know there's not many of those. And I'm hearing all sorts of intimidation. And even between last night and this morning, I had 2 different people wanting me to make the group private. This happens pretty much every day. And what I say, I don't just come back with a canned response. Because both of these women had actually been humiliated in public. Their post out of No Masks taken and then put into other social media in screenshots and then degraded. And then they threatened, trying to track them down to their job. Really scary. What's interesting is all of these are coming from women. Now, for me, I knew that when I took this on, even Agenda 2030, that I would be painted to be a conspiracy theorist. And I've done everything I can to be the journalist I am. I'm a researcher and I learn. And I'm also in PR and marketing and spent a lot of years doing that. And I know that right now this isn't the time to discuss if the earth is flat or not. But I can tell you that the aggressiveness that I've seen in the flat earth community throughout this experience puts them on the same level as Q as far as I'm concerned. Wherever they are, there's toxicity. And I experienced it back in 2015 when I was researching solar radiation management. Sorry. Right now, with that attitude, I would never take you seriously. And at the end of the day, anybody who has to come and aggressively push their ideas on people, well, that's just not credible. I think it's no class, is what I do. I actually found some people that had very little respect for me on Monday when I posted it on my timeline, and they went at my timeline and decided to make their flat earth take over after I clearly said I wanted no association. And they're not my friends at all. In fact, the most disrespectful act you could have done to me. And that's why I take off heads. You see, since I started this, I have been threatened. I've had death threats. Trying to go to a protest in Saskatoon, and somehow some guy knows I'm already going before I even announced it. It's weird. The only place I talked about it was at our protest. But I have a threat that he's coming there. This is stuff that's going on, and it's happening to all of us. I have a higher level of it. I don't go on and on about it because mostly I ignore it. Block. A lot of people want to criticize me for the block. The block is what saves me. It saves my heart. It saves my soul. Because I'm in this to win it. I care about your kids. I care about you. I care about you wearing the bloody mask all day. But let's just be clear here. No masks? We're not just about the mask. It's about the masquerade. And that's why I'm moving from the protest model, which I knew we had to move from. I've known that for years. I've never been a protester, quite honestly. I choose to take out my activism in social media and other means where I can actually make a dent. We're going to do action. And our first little project is what I'm calling Masquerade Ladies. I put a little casting call on the group today. This is about organizing a new way to, number one, protect people that are coming and to show their support, and giving us a way to actually make it effective for that time you're there. Standing around with the sign at the legislature, you know, it's all well and lovely, but honestly, there's nobody there that's of importance to see that. We need to change that up. As well, we need direct on the ground marketing, and that is why I am beginning and embarking on creating groups in order to start taking apart the official documents. The first thing I want to do is a mums group, because we're dealing with school right now, and I want to start pulling together the marketing that is going to be required to get the information out. We can't expect people to dig in like we are, and I need to make it easy for them. And I'm hoping a small group of moms can help that become a reality for me. I'm trying to do a lot here, and now it's a matter of delegating, but also creating teams that can grow. Zoom meetings will be the first order of business. And so basically I'm looking for 5 women to start. And I want to get that underway for next week. You'll have 2.5 weeks under your belt of the schools, what's going on around the province. And I'm looking for women all over the province, again, in a small group to start, and then we'll extend it. This is the way we're going to inform moms about what's going on. And as well, arm you with the understanding so that you can market it. And I'm going to help you do it. This is going back to the grassroots, my friends. And To me, well, I've always said, lead, follow, or get that out of the way. I'm ready to roll it, and I am. And in fact, I had a lot of fun the other day because I need to be every day into the media and catching them up on all this nonsense. I ended up getting the bull the other day, and that was great. And what's really interesting about all of this negative publicity I get, and apparently Buzz, they got him out of a meeting to get on there with me and to insult me again. That's all he had. These things for me are opportunities to parlay this understanding of what's going on. And he gave me a forum and I took over his feed. This is my job, my friends, to represent, to get out there and hammer and offset this negative publicity. The conspiracy theories are Q is conspiracy. I can guarantee it. It is. And I don't know about flat earth because, you know what? Information emerges. But their aggression is absolutely toxic. A lot of the members of this group are women, and we are going for a very feminine front. And the reason why is because our opposition is actually being portrayed as angry white men. And we're not. We may be angry, but we're women. And we are. And this is where the grassroots is going to grow, my friends. This is where us women need to get back into politics and quit being these wallflowers. You're not doing your children service, and you're not doing yourself a service. I'm committed to exposing what is going on, and it has everything to do with Agenda 2030 goals. We will start ripping this down and putting it into a form that you can understand. The world has changed, my friends. The landscape has changed. And global communism has been inserted into our democracy. It's time. And it's now or never.